James Parker of Aggie Track and Field is regarded as the most decorated athlete in Utah State University history. Specializing in the throwing events, he was Big West Conference champion in the shot put, discus, and hammer throw as a freshman, and that set the pace for a competitive career that would see him become the national hammer throw champion and a U.S. Olympic team member competing in Athens in 2004.
You know, I did well in high school with the shot put and the discus, and I ended up running into Craig Carter, who ended up being the coach at Utah State when I came up about 98-ish, I think. So in high school, about 93, 94, I ran into Craig, and he said, hey, you might want to pick this up. This is something you probably want to learn. It'll probably help you in the long run if you're going to throw at the collegiate level. And so I started throwing it, and I picked it up pretty good. So I had a couple years on most everybody coming in to the hammer throw. So experience really helps in the hammer. Second in the NCAAs in 2001, which was in Eugene, Oregon, actually. I was fifth my junior year, and I finished, I can't remember what my sophomore year was, but I did make the final. I started, you know, in high school, my second year throwing it, I actually was second at the high school level, national-wise. So I knew that something was going to happen there, that I was in the mix. And I was kind of this unknown guy coming out of nowhere, you know, my second year only throwing it. So, and then I made All-American my freshman year, and that's when I knew, hey, there's some potential here to do something. So, external rewards are very nice, but it's not what motivated me. After the first couple, I was like, okay, thanks a lot, that's great. Let's just keep pressing on here. But yeah, quite a privilege. I mean, to be able to be, you know, named an All-American, that's really awesome. That was great. Yeah, 9 times. It sounds kind of like a lot. I was better if you were to look at it from the perspective of you know, national level and where I ranked in each of those events. I was a better hammer thrower, distance-wise. I won the other events because, well, just because I happened to be everybody else, but I was a better hammer thrower, I think, from the start. I was built for the hammer. You know, hammer throwers are typically not as big. They rely a lot on the skill and technique and speed and that type of thing, whereas a shot putter, in contrast, would be more of a strength kind of a guy, bigger guy type of thing. So the levers helps you a lot. I was usually the shortest one out on the field, which I like that in a way because I like taking down the bigger, faster, stronger guys. I like being a giant killer. It was very satisfying to me in the end to take down that guy that everybody thought was gonna take the championship. So yeah, I'm a small guy comparatively, but I made up for it, I think, in the people I associated with. Like, I tried to be around, you know, people that kind of excelled at that level, pick their brains, of course, hard work, you know, and just smarts. So I think that's what kind of took me, and a little bit of luck too, you know. So that's what kind of took me to that level. The coolest thing, I think, if you think of look at it from an athletic perspective, was in 2001 at the NCAA Championship. Myself, I took second, and then my teammate Dave Hoffman took second in the high jump. Our combined points ranked us 20th in the nation, which was pretty cool. Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest things that happened. Well, going into the trials, it was in Sacramento that year in 2004. I was the only one in the United States who had attained the A standard, the Olympic A standard. So as the rules read, I had to still win the meet to go. So if a B standard were to beat me, they would go instead of me. So it's either they take 3 A's or they take one individual who was either an A standard or B standard. It would be the champion of the trials. So a lot of pressure, really, for me, especially since, yeah, I've got to this point. This is my shot. You know, at any Olympic trials or Olympic games, it's kind of a one-shot deal type of a thing. So if you have a bad day, you lose that whole dream, you know. So, you know, I went in, I was the favorite, you know. I went in the qualifying day, qualified my first throw, no problem. Came back the second day. It was a great crowd. We were throwing in the infield, you know, full stands and the whole thing. And right from the start, I just started eking my way up, and you know, the closest guy behind me was about a meter away. So, and I ended up winning it pretty handily. It wasn't too big of an issue, but a lot of relief afterwards, no doubt. Of course, being an Aggie, we hated BYU, and actually as an Aggie, I never competed well at BYU. So when I got that Olympic A standard in 2004, it was at the stadium there at BYU at their track, and I threw 79 meters, which happens to be their field record to this day. Very proud that an Aggie holds a BYU field record. It's always nice to get recognized, you know, for what you did, and it's a nicety. I'm very pleased that those who induct the athletes thought that I was worthy enough to do this. So I'm very grateful.